Let's get into some hockey talk here because finally, it only took like almost a couple months, but Nazem Kadri has signed, and it's not with the New York Islanders, which, by the way, their fan base was fucking crushed when they heard the news. It's with the Calgary Flames. He decides to go back to Canada, and I mean, there's so much to dissect here, Hoppy. Where the fuck do you want to start?
Where do I want to start? The fact that the only reason he's with Calgary is because Lou pulled the offer once people started talking about the fact that he was definitely going to the Islanders since everything was so quiet. Lou's like, nope, fuck you, done. Ripped it up. He's like, I swear I didn't tell anyone. Like, no, I don't care. It's out there.
No. And you
so
know,
Lou
might
crushed this.
I know that's tongue in cheek, but you might be right. That's what's fucked up about the whole thing.
It's not tongue in cheek. I'm dead serious. that is what I suspect.
Wow.
Because it was a lock. It was done.
Yeah. I mean, people were like, we're almost reporting it. It was so much of a lock. And we kind of turned the page. We were like, okay, well, it's not really going to be a story. It's going to be announced. He's going to be there in training camp in a few weeks, whatever. Mm-hmm. The Calgary Flames, though, losing Tkachuk, losing Gaudreau this offseason. They're two superstars. They're arguably two of their best players. I mean, not even arguably. They're two best players.
They were the two best players.
They were the two best players. And they replaced them with two, let's be honest, they're superstars right now. Kadri is the best Kadri we have ever seen. Jonathan Huberdeau, who's your third?
Uyghur, dude.
Oh, the Uyghur. Uyghur's great. I don't think he's in that superstardom, but
dude, Uyghur's sick.
Unbelievable and great defenseman to fill in that spot and honestly bolster their defense as well. So is it a stretch to say that with Uyghur as well coming in, that the Calgary Flames got better this offseason?
That was one of my notes, man. And
I
absolutely think they're better.
I think so too.
And before we get into the whole team construct, just thoughts on the contract. Like, what do you think about a 7x7?
Dude, I think it was perfect because he wasn't. Look, if he got 6 years, it was going to probably go up to 8.85. If it was 5 years, going to go up 9, 10. He's 30 years old, right? And again,
31. I'll check it right now. Keep talking.
These are the contracts that 30-year-olds who put up these numbers are getting right now. And
turns 32 in October, so he'll be 32 in the
1 year
starts.
older than I thought.
2 years older than you thought.
The way that the game is progressing too, it's tough to really see because some guys can make it into their late 30s and some guys it ends really fast because of how fast the game is and just like the impact now with the game at speed. But for some reason, and this just is me. I'm no expert. This is me. And I've said this about some other players, and I don't say it about certain players, but I think he's gonna have a longer career. I think that Kadri can maintain putting points up, whether it's in the 50 range, 40 range, late into his 30s. And hell, if you're paying $7 million for at that point in someone's career for 40, 50 points on a good year, if the team is still good, then great. If not, whatever. You brought him in the door. You had to replace, a superstar player, that top, a role in the top six if you wanted to still be competitive. And I'm sorry, the Calgary Flames didn't have a fucking choice. They signed Markstrom to be competitive now. They thought they were going to go forward with Gaudreau and Tkachuk. At least one of them didn't happen. Trilov is not done yet. He's like, I have one more run at that cup before everything comes tumbling down. It's been 10 years almost in the making that this GM has been building the pieces there, and he's gone through one complete, roster of pinnacle pillars in Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Monahan, who's was gone as a result of this trade to clear up the space. I'm just so thrilled, and I'm happy, and I think the contract is fine. Honestly, 7x7, people are ripping it. It's like he was gonna get term anywhere he went. That you just have to if you're a free agent at 30, 31, 32, you're getting term. And you're putting up those. It's just that is what it is. $7 million. Dude, he could have asked for 10 in some places, and some idiot teams might have probably given it to him. He got 7, dude. Look at defensemen who went to Chicago. You look at even Tampa Bay signing Sergachev. I know defense it's a different comparison, but you look at the money that was given out to Seth Jones and Sergachev. Look at Kadri. I know he's a little bit older, but still, he's in that upper echelon of the league, and he's been paid $7 million a year now.
Well, that's the argument that people will make, right? Like, yes, this year, Kadri at $7 million is better than Sergachev at $8.5. But Sergachev's 24, man. He's
No,
got
I
his
know.
best years ahead of him. He's going to have an elevated role.
And I
with
get that.
McGonagall.
I get that.
But yes, Kadri, everyone thought he was going to get 9. Like getting
Oh, yeah.
7 over 7 years. Really, the last couple of years of that, kind of like Huberdeau. Who cares? Like right
The
now,
Flames
this
are going to
is
be
about
irrelevant at that time.
immediate relevancy.
Yep.
And with you, right? I think that Markstrom's deal is kind of what they're looking at as their window.
That's the timeline, 100%.
I think the next 3 years, they're a legit contender. And this team, even though like on paper, again, losing Gaudreau and Tkachuk fucking sucks, they're better. They bolstered the blue line with Weegar. They're deeper down the middle. And I literally, like, this is oversimplifying it, but for the next 3 years, I'm going to say Huberdeau for Gaudreau is almost a wash as far as talent is concerned.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
they're 90 to 100 point players.
This is a deeper team. You replaced the grit of Tkachuk with Kadri. I'm still super fucking excited for the Battle of Alberta because I think those two teams are both better than they were last year, and it's going to be insane when they meet in the second round of the playoffs again.
I can't wait.
Like,
seriously,
who's the better team there? Who is the better team?
Calgary. Calgary's the better team last year. They're still the better team.
Dude, I'm torn. I'm very torn.
I'm sorry.
Like, that's
Campbell
Soup
and net.
Develop.
Great move from Edmonton Oilers, at least addressing their goaltender, but I don't think he's enough to get it done.
Smith was enough to get it done this year.
Oh, Smith.
You're going to tell me that Campbell isn't a noted improvement over
No,
Smith?
no, he is. I'm saying, like, it was a great improvement, but, like, I don't think Smith was...
but they still beat them 4-1 in the series.
Yeah, I'm pinning that one more. Like on the USA World Juniors not making it to the medal games, I'm pinning this mostly on the Flames underperforming.
Hang on, though. That's different. If we're going to talk about the USA team who absolutely underperformed against the Czech team, that was 1 game, not 5. It's a lot easier to come out flat in 1 game and play the wrong way and then not be able to come back and make adjustments because you're out. Against Edmonton, fair. Calgary had every chance to make adjustments and it just didn't work.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not your series.
Sometimes. Now,
I'm just not sold on the Oilers, and I don't want McDavid to play there anymore. I'm sick of him in a fucking Oilers jersey.
What do you think about the Islanders? Obviously, again, didn't get Kadri. They were counting on it. That would have been a big way of bolstering their lineup. I think it still further would have complicated their cap hit because they're in a really tough spot financially. But what do you think about the team in general?
We're just bringing them back up here because I know the anchors of the team.
I'll lead in and save you some time then. I got
it up now, but go ahead.
I just personally think that they're a playoff team this year. I think they had so many things working against them last year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, I think a lot of people are just like forgetting and discounting them and basically looking at the year saying, okay, it's the Rangers, it's the Hurricanes, and then Penguins or Capitals maybe. Whereas I'm not high on the Rangers. You know it from last year. I think they're going to tumble back to reality.
They're a wild card, yeah.
Oh, there goes gravity. But I think the Islanders. I reserve the right to change this before we do our official picks to start the year that we always do. I think it goes Hurricanes, Penguins, Islanders, top 3 in the Metro.
And a lot of people were saying that going into this last season too.
This last season, I think we had them number 2.
We all forget.
I think Hurricanes were almost unanimous number 1, and I think Islanders were pretty close to unanimous number 2. They looked
so good the couple years prior, right?
Well, and you think about it, 13 games on the road to start the year.
I was just going to say, everyone forgets about that. And then they had to adjust. And I know it's cool. You're coming into a new arena. It's more lavish and whatnot and everything like that. But it's still an adjustment. Professional athletes, more than any other humans, I will say, are creatures of habit too. When you start the most important part of your season, the beginning of it, where you the Blues were an anomaly, how they won their cup, right? You have a bad start of the season, you're usually having
yes, but going into the season, everyone was so high on the Blues. And I'm not saying the Islanders were similar, right? But they didn't have the same upside. Every year they've gotten close and they really haven't been able to get over that hump for specific reasons. But for me, the reason I'm so high on them for the regular season, they have the number 1 shutdown pairing in my mind between Pulak and Pelich.
Yep.
And I think their goaltending tandem is fucking stupid.
No,
Dude,
it is.
I think Sorokin's a top 5 goalie in the league, and I think
like Sorokin.
Varlamov is the best backup in the league.
He's been the best like 1B or backup since he was with the Capitals, and with him and Neuve, we're back and forth with the Capitals. But no, what I was saying, usually you hit that kind of hump around Christmas and like you've kind of dug yourself a hole, right? And again, that's why I say the Blues, despite what we were saying going into the season, around that everyone kind of was like, all right, we were dismissive. The Blues didn't start 13 games on the road, then having to go to a new arena, and still the schedule like 3 weeks like prior for them was still kind of like what are we doing? When can we actually be training at home? Where's our facility? Like all those other intangibles they were dealing with, because it was kind of a rush. Let's be honest, when you have to rejig the season because an arena's not built, that's a little bit of a rush. So yeah, I think that affected them way more, well, clearly way more than the average hockey fans are giving that team credit for. I think they're a dominant team. I love their build. They're deep. They've bought into every system really that's been thrown their way. Lou Lamoriello, he runs a tight ship, but if those buy in to everything, proof's in the pudding. It's always worked. It's always worked to be competitive. You saw it in Jersey. You saw it in Toronto. Now we're seeing it with the Islanders.